Greetings, everyone. This is Koku from the Bitter Medicine Podcast, inviting you to tune in to the Bitter Medicine Podcast on KWAZ Radio.
Peace, family. This is Oni, inviting you to listen to the pro-black perspective, where black problems are addressed with black solutions.
Greetings, fam. Tune in to The Learning Curve with me, the revolutionary matron on KWAZ Radio.
All right, welcome to our 18th episode of our segment of the Harsh Reality Podcast, our present segment. And in this segment, we bring on professionals, influencers, scholars, and any knowledgeable or interesting individuals to tell their own story and also hear their unique takes on the news of the day. And personally, I think it's more beneficial and insightful to listen to a person's perspective, rather than a traditional question and answer format. So we'll keep things real light and breezy on this podcast here. And before we begin, shout out to our KWAZ radio family. Make sure y'all check out and subscribe to the Bitter Medicine Podcast, hosted by Koku, the Pro-Black Perspective, hosted by Untitled, the Learning Curve, hosted by the Revolutionary Matron, Forecast Radio. We got Brother Bakari. We got the African Mind, hosted by Tanzan, the Wu-Tang Clan of the freaking KWAZ. So make sure y'all subscribe to all the shows. Great content coming from all of them. And lastly, our show is now on Patreon. Please donate. And of course, all proceeds go to upgrading the show, providing the best content we can for our loyal listeners. Also, for those looking to reach out to the show, feel free to drop an email at theharshrealitypodcast@gmail.com. Now, enough of me rambling. Let's get to our esteemed guest here. Let me bring her up. It's good, fam. My guest today, in addition to being one of the youngest official members of the Hotep Nation, we're doing big things out here. She's an outspoken, righteous, and brave sister. And furthermore, she is a rising influencer and budding philosopher. And I'm honored to have her here to tell her story and also maybe discuss a few other things, pressing topics in our community. So we got to roll out the red, black, and green carpet for the one and only Hotep Virgin Mary. Hotep, what's good?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm honored to have you on. You got the interesting. I've been on the Substack reading like I'm in the library. Like, what's going on here?
Oh my goodness.
So that's dope. Make sure y'all check out the Substack. We make sure we put that in the show notes so they can check that out. But I want to start this first little segment, the first little minute. I want to kind of donate this to you, give it to you, let you tell any background information you got about your upbringing, your affiliation with the Hotep Nation movement, what made you join the military, all that good stuff. So what you got?
Well, I was born and raised in Gary, Indiana.
What, Gary?
That's hilarious.
I'm from Chicago, so I know exactly what's going on.
Hey, respect, because most people cringe or be like, ew, when I bring it up, so it's okay. Yeah, I grew up in a traditional Christian Kojic household, and I was put in Catholic school when I was in high school. The only reason I joined the military was because I really didn't want to go to college yet, and I really didn't have nothing to do. So I was like gotta do something. It's following directions and being in shape is just not a hard concept. So I was like, cool, I got it. It wasn't born out of any patriotic reasons, just pure old, hey, I see that I get benefits when I'm done with my contract, so I can do about 6 years and I'm cool. Yeah, I originally enlisted for 6 years. As far as Hotep Nation, so some of the background that I don't keep it like hushed up, I just don't talk about it. It's still proof on my profile. I was very much a Black conservative. Got caught up in the whole Candace Owens conservatism back when I was 17. Oh no, that was an embarrassing time for me. But I was a child, so I got some grace. I was 17 years old. But I actually met Hotep Jesus at one of the Black Conservative conferences before he got kicked out. And he basically that's how I found out about the Hotep Nation and everything like that. And I was like, this seems like a happy medium between, not veering off to the cooning of the Black conservatism, but they're definitely not leftists. They're definitely not liberals. And that was okay with me. They just talking common sense, Black empowerment, economics, all of this. So I was like, cool. And they really didn't, it's not really like one religious foothold in the nation. You got everybody in there, some Muslims, some Christians, even, God forbid, an Israelite, all of the above.
Don't worry, they had me. They had my mom's, 11 years old, shut down Christmas, shut down everything.
Oh, Lord.
Passover, so I know I got your feeling.
I mean, nothing wrong with celebrating.
Yeah, hey, do what you do.
Nothing wrong with the Torah and celebrating holidays. It's just when you out on the street looking like a Power Ranger, you know what I mean? That's just like, okay.
I think that's on the East Coast thing. Them dudes had on suits when I was going. I don't know what's up with the Power Rangers.
Yeah, look, I was just in Chicago a couple of months ago. Just happened to walk past a gospel fest. But guess who was right there by the entrance with they breastplates and
looking like Voltron about to form up. Shout out to
I'm saying.
All right, so that we got that up, and honestly, you know what I mean, I did my time too. I did 7 years, you know what I mean, Air Force, and it's like people think that it's like a pay when 90% I think of the military is just people trying to get out of their situation, trying to escape, trying to get free schooling, trying to get money. Hey, I get paid and I can get to go to school after I'm done with this. Okay, cool. Exactly. Yeah, it's great marketing, it's great advertisement. Then once they get you in there, they try to keep you in there. Hey, you do 10 years, you could transfer your GI Bill to your kids. Hey,
right.
You know what I mean? One thing I think they really push too when you're trying to get out is that they'll tell you almost like it's no future for you. Like, what? You get a job or you could just stay here, and then you fall into that. You don't have to think at all. They tell you what to wear, be here at this time. Honestly, if you never just be on time, you'll be like an E9 and you know what I mean, living good. But that's
they
the trap.
Keep getting you with the re-enlisting right when you about to, your enlistment finna be up. And I'm like, what you got planned? It's like none of your business.
What, you gonna go be a rapper or something? Nah, man, just resign right here. So I think that's a big thing how they retain people. But I think the vast majority is honestly just poor people, man. Vast majority just people from little towns, even big cities, just the poor side of the city. You know what I'm saying? And they just get you with it, yo. So that's dope. And you ain't really delved too much into the Hotep Nation. How did you get with actually and in affiliated? Get your official tag. I see a hashtag. How did you get your hashtag, yo?
Well, I started talking to Hotep Jesus and I was just like, how do I become a Hotep? You know what I mean? I really like this movement. I read the website, got their little Hotep 10 commandments. And, I just see the community on Twitter. They're very much intelligent. They're cool. And, they focus in on, health and wealth. And I'm just like, that's something I would definitely like to be affiliated with. He was like, the first step is to change your name. And I was just like, what you mean by that? Like I'm supposed to just change my name. So
from Malcolm Little to Malcolm X.
That's really how it was. I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, am I like joining into something I really didn't know of? But no, it was as simple as that. Well, in the first place. And he became sort of like a mentor to me. Like, he would basically like send me back my tweets or anything like that and question everything that I thought I knew. Because like I said, I was very much an arrogant, young Black conservative. Going to these little conferences, meeting Candace Owens, Donald Trump Jr., and Ben Carson, and going to the White House when Trump was in there. Like all these little adventures. I'm saying like it meant nothing, right? It really meant nothing because, as you can see in this modern, conservative movement, they're very much hypocrites. They're not critical thinkers and they just parrot whatever they see on Fox News. So I was just like, that's not too appealing anymore as I get older. and I learn, to think for myself or really, apply the knowledge that I've learned. So he became my mentor within the Hotep Nation, and I basically just connected with others. It was mainly on social media for like 2 years before we had our first Hotep conference in 2021. And that's when, like the little intimate Hotep community met up in Vegas. And I was like, it was like a big family reunion, to be quite honest. So
That's
yeah.
dope. And that's one thing I tell people, because I got friends, that more so into the spiritual thing, more so kind of free thinkers, and then they end up choosing a side. And I'll be like, yo, both sides are both kind of
Exactly.
lost. You know what I'm saying? You basically just picking a team and yelling at each other for no reason, when in reality, some things you may side over here, this may make sense, and some things this make sense. You know what I'm saying? But they got you so divided that you think you're on a team, The analogy I like to make is like, it's almost like I can be a fan. I'm a basketball dude, right? So I can buy all the Chicago Bulls gear. I can buy the jerseys. I can buy the team. I can buy season tickets, right? But the minute I step out of that crowd and try to go tell the coach how to run the game, tell him who to substitute, the minute I step foot on that court, some big motherfucker gonna tackle me, beat my ass, and I'm gonna be banned for life. You know what I'm saying? So to me, you're not a conservative. You're a fan. You're a fan of Republicans, or you're a fan of Democrats. And the minute you step up, say something they don't like, you get booed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're an echo chamber.
Exactly.
It's very much an echo chamber. They only like you when you're repeating exactly what they want to hear. Anytime you question your own side or whatever they're doing, it's like, oh, do you really support or not? We just got to choose lesser two evils and all this stuff. This is why I don't like affiliating with any side, because they will definitely just chuck their morals out the door if they want their favorite person in office. I knew somebody personally, and they said they were going to vote for Biden, a couple years ago. And somebody was like, isn't he a sexual predator? She was like, I'd rather vote for that sexual predator than the other sexual predator, which is Trump, also accused of sexual assault. And I was like, what is going on here? Like, you openly admitted that did you think he's a sexual predator and still voted for him?
The term lesser of two evils is quite possibly the dumbest term I ever heard in my life. Why would you vote for evil? Period. You know what I'm saying?
Why would you vote?
Yeah. So to me, like, if you're not on my side, you're not benevolent. You know what I'm saying? If you're not doing something to help the people, then get them both out here. Why even participate in the game? If the game is rigged, why am I playing?
Yeah.
I'm the fool for playing the rigged game. You know what I'm saying? So you have to put up your own, or either buy them. If you know you're dealing with criminals, just buy them off. That's the way I look at it. But don't listen to me. I'm kind of, I'll be on some.
This is wisdom. This is wisdom.
Yeah, I'm getting old, yo. But let's get to the first topic I kind of want to hit on, because I think you're passionate about this as well. We have these things they call wars online. You had the gender war. You have this diaspora war, And to me, most of these things are regulated to social media, right? But you still to see things like this creep into everyday life. You know what I'm saying? So to me, and it's a balance. I don't know if it's 80% social media, 20% real life or whatever, but that's kind of what I'll toss to you. Do you think that these wars, these gender wars, these diaspora wars, these real things are nonsense or psyops? You know what I'm saying? So what you got?
I do believe that, honestly, I think most of them are psyops and not anything by the government. I just think they just keep bringing it up over and over and over again because they're bored and they're lonely. To be quite honest, they are, not healed from childhood trauma. A lot of this stuff stems from things that they never got over in childhood, neglectful parents, the fatherlessness or the motherlessness, to be quite honest, because the females be definitely in the gender wars too. I just feel like it's definitely just mainly projection. It's projection. They don't want to sit there and talk to the person who hurt them in real life. So they're going to go on Twitter and use their little Twitter fingers to project on the whole other gender. I'm sitting here like, it doesn't make sense. You're calling, for example, women will be like, oh, you Black men are the weakest link. I'm like, oh, would you say that to your father? Wait, you don't have one. But at the same time, it's like,
Shots fired, man.
You have Black brothers, you have, Black male cousins, you have grandfathers, you have uncles. Would you ever say this to their face? Would you ever go to your grandfather who had to endure Jim Crow and redlining and all this racism just for you to be here and sit here and call him a weak link when he survived all of that? I think that's entirely disrespectful.
Big facts, big facts. I think the vast majority, I think you hit the nail on the head. Like, I think the vast majority of these people are hurt people, you know? And then they go online and where you can be anonymous and say these things on top of not saying this to people face, which most people are cowards. They're not built for that life, you know? So you can just hide behind your avatar. You can hide behind whatever and say, and plus I think a lot of these are like, I question a lot of people like, if they're what they say they are, you know, your ethnicity, or I think a lot of them fed boys, you know what I'm saying? That's to be.
Yeah,
but
it's a lot of non-blacks that hide around these cartoon profile pictures that sit there and just couldn't wait to, you know, talk about how black women are this and black men are that. I'm like, no, you've been hiding your racism for a long time, so now you feel free to have a platform where nobody can check you. All you gotta do is have that little anime profile pic and they know it's a nigga behind there. I mean,
you're fine. After 9 o'clock, that'd be but yeah, and then add to that too, you know, because I want to hear your take on this diaspora nonsense. I think that's the biggest side. But I'm gonna give you my take on it, right? So to me, it just was weird that it went from reparations, went from, you know, we need to come up, we need to build up our communities, to like we banging on Africans now. That to me was like the weirdest thing. I'm like, yo, low hanging fruit type of deal. It's like, what's going on here, right?
Yeah.
Then on top of that, you know what I'm saying, you had different people, different things, and they was talking about, let's just say, for instance, I'm going to the NBA thing again, right? I got to do the NBA thing. I'm sorry, but let's say I played for the Chicago Bulls or something, right? And I'm a Chicago Bull. I got the jersey. I play for the team. I hoop. I'm the starting point guard, right? But I'm still part of the NBA, right? If the NBA folds, I ain't got no job. I'm done. Right? Nothing. My jersey means nothing. And that's, to me, I feel as though the same way as black people, that's kind of how we are. Like, yeah, you may be from Barbados. You may be from Gambia. You may be from the US, right? But at the end of the day, we all on the same team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They don't shoot you and check your ID and be like, oh, he was a Bahamian. Oh, my bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it is very like counterproductive and asinine to me to see. So I automatically go into agent mode. Like, these people is agent. So I'm gonna throw it to you. What's your take on the diaspora nonsense?
Well, since you brought up the word agent, this really popped in my head. Is like, I don't believe all of them are agents. Maybe Tariq Nasheed, definitely an agent. But like his followers, you know, these FBA, I call them FBA freaks because that's exactly what they are. They're freaks. They're weirdos. You know what I mean? They sitting here smoking on that pack when a Nigerian dies. I'm like, are y'all kidding me? Like, y'all are literally taking on the role of white supremacy. You know what I mean? Like, no matter, you know, how far removed you are from, you know what I mean, the African diaspora, from the motherland, like, you are African. And that is okay to say. They want to be everything but African at this point. You know, you got the natives, the free. They tried to reclaim the Confederate flag. I just thought that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. The Confederate flag. But anyway, I'm not saying that nobody outside of, you know, Black America is coons, and that's just a straight lie. You know what I mean? Like, you have your coons in the media. You know what I mean? But they just can't sit here and try to blame. It's like they blame everything wrong with the Black community on immigration. And it's one thing to, if you was on code and you were against the non-Black immigrants, you know, I would respect you more. But it's just like, they be sitting here telling Haitians to go back to their country. Are you kidding me? Like, the country that your America, since you got the American flag on your profile, your America ruined Haiti. And then you get mad when Haitians flee to America. Like, no, it don't work like that.
Exactly.
Like that. But at the same time, I do see where the ADOS or ADOS, whatever you want to call these people, I see where they're coming from. You know what I mean? Like, we do need reparations. A lot of our culture is just not acknowledged or just denied in favor of just grouping us all together as American instead of separating Black America. And of course, you know, Black America is very much influential throughout the whole world. You can see, you know, I mean, the way we dress, the way we rap, and the way, you know, our mannerisms are. You can just see it all across the diaspora. And that's not something to be jealous of. I would be proud of that, that our Black brothers and sisters around the world, we can just be connected over something as simple as the way we dress, the way we speak, you know what I mean, the way we dance to music. I think that's a beautiful thing, you know what I mean, because I love all Black people in the diaspora.
Word, big facts. Check out some of these comments here. We got Ketter. Shout out to Ketter, man. Good dude. We got a lot of the bitter med. I mean, the KWAZ family were in there. Bitter medicine. Shout out to you. Shout out to Ketter. Shout out to the matron. And we got Oni. Hurt people. Big facts, bro. And he also said Tariq definitely. He got his badge in his back pockets, bro. And back to what you were saying too, with the whole media domination, right? To me, it's a thing where it's like, if you dominate, this is a niche, right? We see this amongst lots of groups, lots of groups of people where they dominate something, right? Mm-hmm. If you see that we can dominate the media, right, that's just something that should be a profit, right? That should be benefiting the whole community. We should not be at the bottom of the bottom if we can dominate something, right? And the biggest tell to me is that the Black hair care, products, where we don't control none of that. It's just most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. You've seen yesterday, I think last night they had the BET Awards. I started watching that shit a long time ago. But you had the BET Awards, right?
I didn't know the BET Awards happened.
Yeah, good. You're doing a great job. The BET Awards, which owned by Viacom, which nobody looks like me and you, and they're deciding the awards, and you got people mad about the awards they didn't get. I'm like, bro, why are you even there? Mm-hmm. Why are you validating that? Y'all, it's enough millionaires in that room. Y'all can make your own award show. Why are you begging somebody else for an award?
Exactly.
So it's just asinine. It's like when you don't know your power, you're subject to anything,
Exactly.
I said that with the jab joint that go off a little off subject, but it's like I seen recently Governor Newsom was like, yo, everybody got to get the shot before you go to school. I said, bro, if 10%, at least 25% of parents are like, I don't know about that, right?
Exactly. I think it's even more than that. They just don't speak out in fear of, retaliation. They don't want to get kicked out of the public spaces.
Let's see, especially in California, weirdos out there anyway. But at least, let's say bottom basement, 25% of parents are like, I don't know about that.
Right.
For a fact, if 25% of that school didn't show up on first day of school, that they dropping it.
Exactly.
Immediately. But these people don't realize their power. So it's crazy to me. And we as Black people, I think we the biggest example of don't recognize your power. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We can shut industries down, but I'm trying.
To be quite honest, like you could even see it as something as simple, like if you notice, like if you got any kids or young people around you, they obsessed with TikTok. You as you can see, like every little challenge, every little TikTok challenge, TikTok dance is dominated by Black people. Even just as simple as like the Black children coming up, like they could literally change the culture. They could be sending out, real messages, if they just read, to be quite honest. But, they'd rather sit there and dance and shake their little hips for the camera and talk about climate change and everything like that, or something with a rainbow flag up there. So, that's like
to trigger me tonight.
I'm sorry. I hope this don't get banned or anything like that. I don't.
We already know shit. It'd be all right.
Have a filter. Yeah. I see one example. This is just like how much even Black Americans, like we really got a hold over social media. Just like how much one of the kids was like, you know what? Somebody dropped a new song. I think it was Megan Thee Stallion. They always trying to make a dance to Megan Thee Stallion music. Mm-hmm. They had a challenge on TikTok. Black people don't make up any dances to this song. And just let's see what other people come up with. It was the worst dancing I had ever seen in my life. With all the white folks. And like, for example, like, and I'm just bringing this back over to like how Black people sit there and cape for the Democratic Party. Did you know, like, all we have to do, like, Democrats rely, like, you don't really understand. You probably do understand how much they rely on the Black vote to win any election, because nobody else vote for them as much as we do. If they even lost 15 to 20% of the Black vote, they would never win anything. Mm-hmm. If we simply just refuse to show up to vote, they just wouldn't win anything, because they wouldn't have enough people to support them outside of the Black community to vote for the Democrats. Maybe white women. You never know.
I don't know. White women, they'll say they vote Democrats, and then they'll go in the booth and be like, "No, I don't think so."
They gonna vote wherever their husbands tell them to vote.
Yeah, that's what that chameleon, whatever that thing is, says. But Now that bring it back a little bit because we talked earlier about the Israelites, and we talk about your affiliation with the church and things like that. Now, this is probably a big thing, and this is why I kind of maybe I differ from some of my colleagues. Can Black unity be possible across multiple ideologies? You got multiple religions, multiple political affiliations. I kind of know your answer to that one, but do we kind of all need to be, or should you find kind of your tribe, kind of like what you did or whatever? Do you think you can draw everybody in, or what do you think?
I personally have no problem with any Black person of any spirituality, because Black people, as an African people, we have always been spiritual, no matter what kind of religion it was. Even before, we entered the slave trade, we always had our own spirituality. They couldn't beat that out of us. They could, they tried to, beat it out of us for 400 years on this land alone, but we still have a connection to our creator, whoever you believe your creator to be. You hardly ever see a Black atheist. And, I just think that Black people can connect with their shared experiences with spirituality alone. Outside of political realms, just knowing that we are spiritual people, that we believe in something. And that doesn't necessarily have to be Christianity, Islam, be an Israelite. You can sit here and practice voodoo. You can practice hoodoo. As long as you have a connection with something higher than yourself, I think Black people are capable of doing great things, no matter what they believe in. So I may be an anomaly. Some Black people disagree, and this is where, some Black Christians have a problem, they're so put off by everything that's not Christian, that they'll judge and they'll not join anything, and they'll look at anything skeptical. Oh, if you don't put Jesus on it, then, it's maybe not good for me, and they won't sit there and connect. So I believe that people need to set aside sometimes your biases, because when they first look at you, they don't be like, oh, you're a Muslim, oh, you're a Christian, oh, like you're Black always. So as the first thing people see, and I just think we need to focus on that before we start dividing based off of political and religious ideologies.
Big facts. Which is, like I said, even among the atheism, right? It's like when it's almost like they tend to kind of get away, right? It's almost like they will go and identify as something else. And this the thing I say, yo, I don't care what you call yourself. You're gonna worship something.
Yeah.
You just don't realize it. And if you look at a lot of these people, like either they worship celebrities or they worship the science.
Oh gosh. Scientologist.
Yeah, they worship something. You worship sports players, celebrities, athletes, whatever. You even your biggest influencer, right? The Kardashians,
politicians, all of this.
Yeah, they could do no wrong. And the way these people worship these people is because they'll defend these people like they know them, like they're their homeboys. Like if you talk to some of these people, they will go harder for Kim Kardashian than they would their mama. You call their mama all types of bitches sluts, right? Exactly. You talk about the Kardashians, what? They got
oh my gosh.
Ready for war.
Nicki Minaj stands. You ever seen them?
Oh, they the worst. Yo,
the barbs. They will sit there and dox people. They will find your address. They will threaten you, just simply because you say, oh, Nicki wasn't number one this year. And they're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to kill you. And I'm just like, okay, bro. Like at that point, it's a mental illness. It's a mental illness because me personally, I've seen the quote and I relate to it much. I don't have enough faith to be an atheist. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of just denial and dismissal to sit there and not believe in anything at all. So I don't have enough faith to be an atheist.
Facts. We're gonna put that on a t-shirt and sell it, yo. I'm trying to get some money. But
ban Black people from making t-shirts. That is my political campaign.
Why are you trying to get rid of my ducats? I'm trying to get some bread. But to me, it's cultism, yo. I think a lot of people are in cults, yo, and don't even realize it. Even if you look at the like the leftists, right? If you look at any of these people, let's take, for instance, if you dissect America, you have about 50-50 conservative, or you may even go 45-55, right? Conservative. But if you look at institutions like Hollywood, right? 99%. You know what I mean? You look at the pro athletes, 99 and 90%. It's like, how could you have that? right? How could you have this large when you know America's about 50-50, right? How could you have people that's
Exactly.
on one side, right? You know, that believe in trans kids and drag shows for the kiddies, you know, and drag queen
Mhm.
library hour, right? Like, how could you have that, right?
Yeah, the average person, the average American is not represented anymore. You know what I mean? We used to have, a lot of people coming out to, come to a town hall meetings to make sure they have a say in the school board and make sure they have a say in what's going on around in the world. But no, it's like whoever puts forth the most money. No, they don't care about the average man anymore, what the average person want. I can guarantee you, I'm making this number up. I bet you like over 50% of the country don't like accept anything that's promoted in the media that's being promoted on our kids anymore. Like they just don't have a voice, and they're just too scared to speak out. And a lot of them are abandoning the cities that probably need the help the most. Like for example, California. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure there are a lot of common sense people in California, but they basically just gave up, and so they're fleeing. They're moving to Texas, they're moving to Florida, anywhere in the South, anywhere in the Midwest, and it's like, what I mean? Like, what do you stand for? Are you just gonna sit there and let them go to rot? Let California rot, let New York rot, and sit there. What I mean? What about and this probably sounds a little bit patriotic here, but I promise I'm not. But like, what about the Americans there? Like, you're an American, you say you want to fight for your rights. What about, your brother, your neighbor? We can't just give up and abandon these common sense people out there in states like California and everything like that. Like, these people are suffering, and sometimes this is where we are from. And me personally, I would never go and fight for the rights of Californians because I just don't like California.
You got to fight your own battles out there, Cali.
If there was ever a secession, I would kick California out first. And maybe the economy will just get naturally better when California is not a state anymore. Yeah, but the average American, the average person is just not represented anymore. These celebrities, these Hollywoods, I feel like they sell their souls early on because they know exactly what they're getting into. These people are not dumb. They're adults, and they can't say that they were groomed into this or that they were influenced and they were peer pressured. Like, you 36, what you peer pressured for? If you don't speak your mind, like, I'm pretty
hiding, yo. That trips me out too. You have like 40-year-olds, man, 40s, afraid,
exactly
scared to say their mind. It's like, bro, like you
like
halfway to the end, like, when are you gonna speak up? Yo.
you ever see conservatives be like, I was bullied by the left. You were bullied at your big age. Like, please. They just need to quit. Quit with the cap. Y'all are weak and y'all don't want to speak your minds. And that's okay.
Scared. So that brings me back to another point: is are black people, are we just politically homeless, or should we try to ally with a party or whatever? We just recently seen this voter or Vuck, whatever the hell that. And
what does that even mean?
I hate to pull it up, but I'm gonna have to pull up the video, so
I just have no clue what that means.
You about to find out. Let's see if I can present here, share screen. All right, so see his ad. Hopefully they don't take me down, but let's see what's this.
Amazon Ads helps you reach your audience while they're tuning into all their creative passion.
Straight checks, I think we got one.
It's voting season, bruh.
No voting, no loving. No voting, no touching. No voting, no nothing. No voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking. No voting, no loving. No voting, no touching. No voting, no nothing. No voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking. BLK app looking for some action. Squad, homie, stop.
That's enough.
That's terrible. Well, we get the gist, right? That is what they think. From that to the other year, we had the booty to the polls.
Oh God.
Oh my God. Vax that thing up.
I did not know that was a thing.
But then it's like, do you go to the other side? Which is like, what are we supposed to do? What would you do if you was in control of the voting habits, or just not just what?
I would actually tell them, don't just vote for somebody simply because your people have been voting for them for generations. Like, majority of black people don't even know who they be voting for. They just see Democrat. I just see that they, the older generation, bless their heart, I respect my elders, but they'll sit there and guilt tripping you. They'll guilt trip you to voting, and participating in this sham of an election. And it's like, okay, like you keep telling me to vote Democrat, vote Democrat, vote Democrat, but yet you're still poor and you're like 70 years old. Like, what have you gotten out of voting Democrat your entire life? You have no access to your Social Security. You can barely get your benefits. You know what I mean? The healthcare system is still messed up. You know what I mean? Like, the older generation are suffering too. And it's like, what are you voting for? Why are you guilt tripping me? What do I gain out of it? If I was in control, I would ban Black people from vote. I would take away our right to vote again, because that's how stupid we be. Like, no, Black people should not vote.
And it kills me with this your ancestor died for the right. That's the worst, dumbest.
That's a
and
lie.
They do it every year. And it's like, some of your ancestors died because they tried to sleep with white people. Shoot, that means
exactly.
How dare they take away my right to sleep with? You know what I mean? Like the dumbest thing in the world. Your ancestors died for going to work.
Exactly. My ancestors were martyred. I say martyred because they just wanted to live. They just wanted to live in this country that they were brought from, stolen from their culture, 400 years removed from their motherland, and they're sitting here trying to go down the street or drive through the country without getting lynched, not to vote. Because why would they sit here and die to vote? What president has ever done anything for them? Why would they be so worried about voting? Like, if you use your comments, that's why I said, Black people, I would take away our right to make T-shirts and take away our right to vote. I'm taking away our right.
You gotta stop the T-shirt. I gotta get my grift on, yo. I'm gonna need.
I think you're specifically the reason why I said ban Black people the right to have T-shirts. I will stand on this. Next is ban podcast equipment from the Black community.
I can't have nothing. Is that what we're going with, Hotep? You trying to shut me down, yo?
You're not Black, you're African. Period.
Word. Let's see what we got right here. We got forecast for to die. Yeah, what's going on? Brother Bakari, what's going on, everybody? Oh, yeah, he saw it too. Get your booty to. And you know what? They completely like doxed that from like the internet, yo. That booty to the pole thing, yo. And then they showed the people that made this farce of a commercial don't look like us. Oh, those Negroes like dancing. Those Negroes like fucking on each other and like the what they call it, the racism of low expectations.
Exactly. Like, what did Monique say? Is this who we are? Is this what we represent? Like, I don't understand. Like, they have the audacity, and it's because Black people give them such room to disrespect us like this. All they want to be represented by in the media is for maybe sports and degeneracy. You know what I mean? Like, why in the world? Like, would you ever think they would sit here and take an actor or an actress or a musician in the Asian community and sit there and go and talk to them? What can we do to help more Asians? Bro, the Asian they would riot. Okay, they would riot. They would riot. And the Democrats, they know they wouldn't be able to get away with that with any other demographic but us. This is what, once again, Black people should not have the right to vote. We should not, because look what happened. Look what happened. Look what happened. I blame niggas.
And could you imagine this same commercial with a bunch of dudes with the dot in the head doing the dance and you know what I mean? Like, it would get shut down tomorrow. A bunch of Asian cats, you know what I'm saying? Dancing.
Everybody going up the chain is getting fired. They all losing their jobs. Everybody.
It might get blowed. The building might get blowed up. Be honest with you, like, they do not play this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't say certain words for certain populations. Your head might be in the front of your yard. You know what I'm saying? But we got this they think so lowly of us, man. And that's why the thing I try to say, where they like, oh, they scared of. Nobody's scared of you, bro. They ain't scared. No. Zimmerman's at the mall eating Chick-fil-A right now, fat as hell, without a care in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody
sold the weapon, bro. He sold the weapon he used to kill Trayvon Martin.
Yeah. And your daddy still walking around.
Yeah. He's doing photo ops with Skittles in Arizona tea. After, like, come on, who are y'all? You know, y'all so worried about that 16-year-old on your block selling a dime bag of weed oh, I'm gonna go kill him, but Zimmerman's still walking around. But that's none of my business.
Yeah, I ain't gonna we don't advocate violence, but why is Zimmerman eating at Auntie Anne's pretzels? Why does he have a cinnamon pretzel right now? He should be gone. But I digress.
6 feet under in the dirt.
Yeah, we got to get rid of this. But now we can go to the main part, which I want to hit on definitely, because this interests me a lot too, because I've got my own kind of story in regards to this. But I'm gonna throw it to you. In dealing with the military, and you was in there when they recently put down this jab mandates that everybody got to get the as Cannon would say, yeah, get the and a lot of people didn't want to get it, and they started to discharge and all this other stuff, and they all quiet as kept. Either they stopped the process or they act like it didn't happen or what. So tell me your personal experience and what happened in your story with that, because I think we're curious to hear that.
Yeah. I mean, last year when honestly Biden had pushed the FDA to approve the Pfizer simply so the military can take it, because he can't force the military to take something that's not FDA approved. Unfortunately, so that caused the FDA to hurry up and say, we're just gonna approve Pfizer. And I mean, I guess that was the one that had the least amount of side effects. And they told us, like literally the day that the FDA approved it, it was mandated across all branches the same day. I think they had been waiting on it. They probably knew. Of course, they got insider information about when this stuff is going to happen. And they said for active duty, you have to have both shots by November. For reserve and guard, both shots by December of 2021. Now, me personally, I was already on a medical leave because I had knee surgery. I hurt my knee or whatever. And I come back and they're like, oh, are you, you got it? And I'm like, no. They're like, oh, well, you're going to have to get it. Or, there's nothing we can do. I'm like, what do you mean nothing we can do? Like in the beginning, they were not even offering religious accommodation requests. That's why they're getting sued right now, because they said, unless it's for a medical reason, nobody's getting exemptions. And obviously that's unconstitutional. You can't make somebody take something when, they're religiously opposed to it. And that's what happened in the beginning. I wasn't allowed to take it. I think my case is a special case, simply because my unit, they were a little bit more corrupt. They had a lot of clickiness going on, and our commander just did not care about anyone. They just, I wasn't the only unvaccinated person in my unit, but I was only Black unvaccinated in my unit. It's probably about 10 of us. Everybody else got the utmost discretion. They got the chance to fill out their RERs after a couple of months, and then there was me. They gave me LORs. They gave me all this type of paperwork every time I came in, and I wasn't vaccinated. They're like, oh, guess what? You got to take a COVID test. I was taking a COVID test every single day, simply because I wasn't vaccinated. And everybody knew my business, even if they weren't in a chain of command. I even felt like at one point I was getting treated unfairly, so I went to my first sergeant, and my first sergeant ended up telling my business back to my commander, which is obviously not supposed to happen at all, but they didn't care. In the end, they were just like, look, we don't want you to get discharged. I requested a discharge. So I'm like, I'm not sitting here. You know what the IRR is, right?
Oh, no, say it again.
You know what the IRR is? Involuntary Ready Reserve.
Oh, yeah. I know what that is.
Yeah, they were like, we're just going to put you in IRR. I was like, I'd rather get discharged. Discharge me now. It's like, no, you might change your mind later, and we don't want to ruin your career. And it's like, they were just telling me that they didn't want to kick me out because they still wanted that power over me to sit there and call me back to work. So me thinking that I got pushed into the IRR, and then 7 months later, here they are. I get a call like, hey, can you report on September 9th? I was like, why? If you know anything about the IRR, you cannot go back into duty unless your contract is up and you re-enlist. I'm sitting here like, what do you mean? I can't get called. I can't come back. And I was like, oh, no, your commander decided not to push anybody into the IRR just yet. So I had been in a no pay and no point status for 7 months. For no reason. I get called back. I'm finally getting how they were supposed to treat me in the beginning. I finally got my meeting with the chaplain, taking my statements, everything like that. Like, are you sure you want to go along with this? I had to go through 10 people before I can actually go up to what's called the Air Force General, and he alone is the one who approves these RARs. So far, he has approved none of them. The Air Force is in a lawsuit. Only reason they were able to call me back is because there was an injunction. A federal judge in Ohio said, while this lawsuit is going on, anybody who did not take the vaccine for religious reasons cannot be punished, and they need to be allowed to come back to work and get paid. Also, anybody who was turned away from for enlisting because they were unvaccinated also get a chance to enlist. I don't know if anybody know about that. So far, this is for the Army and the Air Force. I think the Navy is trying to hop onto the lawsuit. I don't think the Marines care.
They don't care. They got bullet bags out there. Go, just go in there, kid. But
they was first in line to get the job. Let's just be honest. Bird brains.
Yeah, you know it's crazy. I think I just got out the voluntary. Like, people don't know, if you sign up for like 4, it's like you really have to do 6. It's like, you know what I mean? They could call you back at any given moment. I think my shit just went out in 2020, and I've been out since 2014. You feel me?
My goodness.
But I did like a little guard. So they was like, yo, like 2020, I broke up. Oh, I'm fucking old. But even dealing with the other side of things, right? Because I think a lot of people didn't realize that, you know, and that's crazy what he did, you, that they bringing all these people back. I still know people that's in, and what they did on some people is like when they was processing them as this stuff was dropping, they gave them the option that they can still like general discharge, or they can stay in, and they ain't say nothing about this. And you already know that they're having a hard time recruiting people right now, and everything else. They can't get bodies in there, right? So now they calling all these people back. They're not sent. So what happened? Is cold? Is the Rona not deadly anymore? Right?
Exactly. Like the percentage of military personnel who passed away from COVID alone is just so low. They don't even mention it in stats anymore. They just don't. You know what I mean? They weren't even letting, what's it called, people who were finna retire like within the year. Somebody's like, I'm retiring in 3 months. You still got to take it, or else you won't be able to get your retirement, your benefits. They were just like, what are you talking about? Pregnant mothers, nursing mothers, I don't want to take it. They said, actually, it's safe for you. You have to. I'm just like, that's insane. Nobody was getting exemptions. They were denying all the religious exemptions. And I'm just sitting here like, right now, I'm in the middle of an RAR. It hasn't been approved or denied. I don't know, within like 3 months, 3 or 4 months. So in this time, I have to go work. Keep working and working, tell them whatever is. I'm not allowed to deploy. I'm not allowed to go anywhere for annual tour. I just got to stay home station, everything.
Yeah. And, you know, kind of say my story a little bit. Like I put in my, they come down, yo, everybody got to get to your dig, right? You know, I'm on civilian side, but they like, everybody got to get to your dig, right? So I'm like, yeah, that ain't happening. You feel me? So not only did I put a religious exemption in, I attached about 10 letters to like 10 testimonials. You know what I'm saying? I got a professional writer, right? All right, we're gonna play this game. We can play this game. I play them with the best. So they pretend like I didn't exist. Like they did with you. Like, oh, you gotta test weekly, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. Nobody checks no tests, nobody does anything, and then a year later, still hear nothing. No denial, no approval, no nothing. You just don't exist. And oh yeah, you don't have to test no more. That's it.
They wanted to avoid a lawsuit. It's okay. They wanted to avoid a lawsuit. And I wish that I had the opportunity to actually sit there and give them like a well thought out, a well written, statement about my religious accommodation. But I got sent to the chaplain's office and they said, turn this in by today at the end of the duty day. I said, huh? Wow. So I sit there and like type up a little essay about, why no. I'm like, okay, I mentioned like what church I go to, like my religious leaders and everything like that, just like trying to add something in it. I'm like, wow, y'all ain't give me a chance to do anything. So I'm already expecting that it's gonna be denied. And they better give me an honorable discharge.
But at least you trying. I seen so many people fold. I seen people fold not even for their job. I seen people fold to go to the DR. Fold to go to Mexico. You apprehensive, but it's like, I'm gonna fold for a vacation.
Folks were folding for Applebee's, so that I ain't putting nothing past nobody. Applebee's, like.
But it's like, at least try to put up a fight, because we all know half of this stuff is bluff tactics, yo. I think somebody said it in the chat. Yo, half of this stuff is blood tactics. Saying they playing in the delay game, right? They gonna see how many people they can get, and then they be like, "Oh, okay, we was just kidding. We were just playing." You know what I'm saying? Once them lawsuits drop, so it's to me, and this is my thing. This is human nature in 101. If it is something out here that is going to help you live, if it's something out here that's great for you, great for your health, something that's gonna, let you fight any disease or whatever, people are gonna knock each other over to get it. You're not gonna have to coerce anybody into it. You're not gonna have to mandate anything. If I see my neighbor drop, and it's a shot that keep me from dropping like he dropped, man, I'll bolt over my moms to get to that. Half these people would do that. So it's like, why? You don't have to force nobody to save their life. Right. That's never been a thing.
And this is how like, if there was something that was truly life-saving and 100% healthy and would help people boost their immune system, the government wouldn't be promoting it. The FDA wouldn't approve it. You know what I mean? The CDC would be saying, oh, this is so bad for you. This is so bad. Like, there's so many dangers. Don't feed this to your kid. They would not be promoting. They would be doing scare tactics. And this is what they do to, like, something as simple as unpasteurized milk. You Google raw milk, bro, right now. They say it could kill your kids. Like, why would you lie like that? Why would you lie like that? So anything that's natural, anything that's holistic, anything that's healthy for you, anything like that, they're not promoting it. They're not promoting it. It's all about population control as well. But not gonna really. I don't want your page to get banned or anything like that.
Nah, forget it. They ain't we already out here. Nah, forget it. And let's go on. And that's a good point you hit on too, is because they don't speak on it. And then the thing is, they always talk about the Black community is most affected by this. The Black community is most affected by that and the third. Bro, who's number one in diabetes, right? Who's number one in hypertension, right? Who's number one in obesity right now,
right? Blood pressure, everything.
So it don't matter a cold could kill a lot of people. That's how bad the system is right now, right?
Pneumonia is taking folks out left and right. Pneumonia is deadlier than COVID. Let's just be honest.
Well, for kids, the regular flu been killing way than COVID. You know what I mean? Your kid have a higher chance dying on the bus ride to school than they do from COVID.
Right.
But they don't want to point this out. But now you're forcing my kid to get it, right? So these are things we got to realize. And you know how I knew the jig was up. I'm chilling. I'm in the system. So it's like I get an email from my medical provider. Because the Native Americans, Black, and Hispanic community is most affected, we're gonna give you first dibs on your dig. And I'm like, my spidey sense is tingling now, right?
Right.
When I see this combination of people together, Black, Native American, and Hispanic, nah, I'm good. I'm straight. I'd rather do what 45 was saying. Give me the bleach.
They said Black and Natives and Hispanics, y'all gonna be the guinea pigs. Y'all gonna be the guinea pig. We're gonna see if this really gonna kill y'all first before we give them out to the white people. Before we give them out to the people that matter the most. We gonna let y'all be the guinea pigs. If y'all drop dead, no love lost. They've been trying to eradicate the Native Americans for like 200 years now. So I mean, they was almost successful too.
And shout out to the matron, the jab. The Yadik was about raising money. They feel like they can guarantee their payments by sticking to the military and employed people. Big facts, and people were folding for that $22 an hour. Yeah,
bro, like they sitting here enticing people with chicken nuggets and a burger.
Like, what was the Blasio eating them? You got these burgers in front. 80% of people in hospital for the Yadik is obese, and you a burger. Krispy Kremes.
So I give you a donut if you just completely ruin your immune system. Like, thank God that the vaccine was available. You know why? Because cases of the flu these last 3 years have been non-existent. And, I just really want to thank, them pushing the Pfizer out, because we just completely eradicated the flu. You know what I mean? Scientists aren't talking about this. The media is not talking about how we cured the flu for good. It's non-existent in the last 3 years.
Because the muzzles, you got the muzzles on, so they stop the flu.
Yeah, those
2 for 1 long. 2 for 1 long island. I might think about it, bro. I ain't gonna. Brother Bakari, man, that's cold-blooded. They don't have to worry about the Native Americans on 50.
Oh no,
we got some new ones, man. They look like me and you, brother. You feel me?
We always been here. We was the original peoples.
We was here first.
We created the Confederate flag. The white folks stole it from us.
do the rain dance on you. Bingo, the flu disappeared because everybody got the COVID. Is the facts and monkeypox. Oh, they don't even talk about that. That didn't work. It was like a pilot episode. You ever see like a show and they do a pilot episode of the show and it sucks and they like, yeah, we're not gonna put that out. That's what monkeypox was, bro. You know what I mean?
That was nothing. I don't think anybody actually died from that. Like such a scare tactic. Like they tried to hide. They came out later on and literally admitted that the monkeypox came from the alphabets. They can't keep themselves clean, so
yeah, that'll do it too. But it been close. I like to keep people more than hours. You know what I mean? It's been a pleasure to chop it up with your Hotep Virgin Mary. So the last segment, I like to give people time to plug the things they want to plug. And if anybody got any last questions, anything they want to throw out to you, this is the time to throw it on. So if you're out there in the chat, you got any questions for Hotep Virgin Mary? I've seen some people asking about the Hotep movement earlier. This is the time to throw it out there. But where can they reach you at? Where can they follow you at? And do you got anything going on? Because you kind of a natural at this, yo. You might need a pod, yo. We might have to holler at somebody and get you on the network. But go ahead.
You know, I already said that I want to ban podcast equipment from the Black community. You will not see me having a podcast. I do have a blog, newsletter, Substack. It's on my pinned tweet on Twitter. I can also, I don't know how to like link it in the chat or anything like that, but
I'll put it in there. Just send me the link and I'll throw it in there.
Okay, yeah. Well, like I said, I'm on Substack. I just like to write basically about my thoughts and everything. I call it like Black philosophy, simply because I know that I'm young and I really do have a lot to learn, but based off of my like little experiences and stuff like that, I just give my perspective. I also call it the sensible Gen Z perspective because my generation gets such a bad rap. You know what I mean? I agree. Like my generation kind of sucks. We're kind of stupid. But you know, I feel like I was born in the wrong generation. I'm born in the 90s.
That old soul, like the old, like grandma and them. See, you got the old soul. Shout out to Brother Bakari. He want to know what branch this Air Force, bro. We got AFSCs. We don't got MOSs, bro. You showing your Army chops.
We don't claim the Army.
We don't claim them. Y'all got me blowed up, man. Forget y'all Army cat. And shout out to El Miguel, the El Miguelisms. You had a couple of them. I think you had a good one earlier. That one we're gonna put on a t-shirt. I gotta rewind it. The average people not represented anymore. You got that one. Not enough faith to be an atheist. We got that one. You got some dope ones. You know what I'm saying? And I shout out
also
to you.
Add in there, take away Black people's right to vote. Make sure you add that on the t-shirt.
Yeah, I want to do repeal the 19th too. I think
yes, repeal the 19th. Like I'm for everything. I am racist, but sexist, homophobic, but everything. You know what I mean? I've been called it all, so I fully embrace what exactly the labels that people put on me. I'm like, oh, you want racist? You think I'm racist? I give you racist.
Big fact. I can do it better than you.
Exactly. Everybody gets spoke.
Well, shout out to you. Make sure y'all go follow Hotep Virgin Mary on the Twitter. Yo, I think you killing it. I don't know. You make my account look. Oh my goodness, you got 14, 15,000. How the hell you pull that off, Jack? But
you know, I actually lost a few thousand when Trump got banned. RIP Trump account, funniest account on Twitter. But when he got banned, all his supporters got banned, and a lot of I think I probably lost like 4,000 followers.
Look here, bro. I'm about to come on your show, Brother Bakari. Yo, you ain't gonna be talking crazy about. All right, we gonna have to roast the Army one of these days. But
they take all you gotta say is they take anybody.
Go show ass bad.
Like they didn't get a high enough score to get into the Air Force. They niggas too afraid of water, so they staying away from the Navy, and they flunked out of Marine boot camp because they're not in shape. So the last option was the Army. So
man down, shots fired. Well, shout out to you, Hotep Virgin, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. I'm gonna put all the links to your pages and your socials and whatever you want in the show notes. Make sure y'all go follow us. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, man. And like I said, I'm gonna keep talking. I'm changing mine on the podcast because the podcast ain't nothing but a blog with voice and video and shit. So we gonna talk. We gonna chop it up.
you're not changing my mind. But of course, I'm glad you had me, happy to listen, everything.
All right. So on behalf of everybody here at the Harsh Reality Podcast, salute to my guests and peace.
Bye.
Bye.
Greetings, everyone. This is Koku from the Bitter Medicine Podcast, inviting you to tune in to the Bitter Medicine Podcast on KWAZ Radio.
Peace, family. This is Oni, inviting you to listen to the pro-black perspective, where black problems are addressed with black solutions.
Greetings, fam. Tune in to The Learning Curve with me, the revolutionary matron on KWAZ Radio.